Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. We have some updates for you with 3.17 coming down the pipe very soon. It's currently with Avocado. We're going to go down that list in a second and see what's not done yet. Almost all of it is done and it should be coming our way soon. But first, Wayne CIG posted this on Spectrum, some interesting new things in here which we have not seen before. So, Alpha 3.17 patch watch, weapon refactor, air traffic control and more. So, what is going on there with the weapon refactor? This is interesting. I'm curious to see where this goes. So while new content might be light, there's some interesting quality of life changes coming in. So the FPS weapon refactor, let's quickly read what that's about. This is the part of ongoing refactor to make procedural animations appear more natural when holding weapons in FPS view. For Alpha 3.17, we adjusted the weapon sway and recoil values across a wide range of rifles, SMGs, shotguns, and sniper rifles. I already thought that the animations were pretty good, so I'm curious to know what they've done. I'm guessing it is like some rifles or some shotguns might be heavier than others, so the animation for shotguns was probably the same across all shotguns, but now I'm guessing what they'll do is if the shotgun looks heavier, then maybe it should act differently. Less recoil if it has more weight, for example. Same with the sniper rifles. Not all sniper rifles are the same weight and size. Some are a bit longer, some a bit shorter, so maybe the longer ones now have less recoil. It makes sense if that's what they're doing with it, and I suspect it will be. So as soon as that comes out in the game, we'll give it a shot. Now your character will move their hands and weapons in a more aesthetically pleasing way, which is important because we're all about the aesthetics, proving some weight, movement you expect, etc. Yeah, so that basically is it. Also, the Gallant rifle is now a deadly 3-round burst with an optional 5-round burst. I can't say I'm a fan of any kind of burst rifles. For me, it's either single shot or full auto, but opinions may vary. Let me know what you think. So this is interesting. Turret acceleration. We've introduced more realistic acceleration to turret movement. Turrets now don't instantly reach max speed based on current input deflection and acceleration towards it. All right, I think that's a nice change. So as it is right now, from what they're saying is, if you're in the turret, as soon as you move, it moves at max speed immediately. But now there'll be more of a gradual build-up to max speed. Good and bad. Good because now it adds that certain weight, and also it makes shooting at a target, it's more finely tuned now if your movement is softer around a small area. But moving fast from a standstill to, say, the edge to move your turret across as the ship zooms by, that's not going to be as easy anymore. So again, we'll have to try it out. We'll jump into a hammerhead and give it a shot as soon as 3.17 comes out. Let me know what we think about it. So here's a big one, ship positional desync. If you've ever been in any kind of dogfight and you're facing each other, well, one guy seems to be facing a bit off and you see his shots flying past you. His nose is not pointing at you. The shots are flying past you. You think you're being an ace pilot, but your shields are being hit. What's happening there is there's desync, there's positional desync. He's actually shooting right at you, but what you're seeing is his shots going off to the side, and you think you're doing fine, but you're not. That's been an ongoing problem for a very, very long time, and so they claim in 3.17 they added a networking update to reduce ship-to-ship desync. If this is true, well, they say it is. If it is true, then this is big. This is really big, because how many times have you been shooting at even NPCs and it looked like they are missing you when they're actually hitting you? So a very big and important change in 3.17. Again, light on content, but quality of life changes. This is pretty massive. And speaking of massive quality of life changes, air traffic control landing. How I hate when you're approaching a place to land and you have to go through your contacts list, and then the ATC is not there because you're too far away, so you have to refresh it and come back to it, and then it shows up, and then you can choose to contact ATC by that time because you've been focusing on that. You crash into the station, which has totally never happened to me, but I'm sure it's happened to somebody who is not me. So I'm definitely binding that immediately. I have to find a button on my HOTAS somewhere, but that is definitely a very important keybind, and I'm happy to see that coming in. Note that this is unbound by default, so be sure to get in there in 3.17 and bind it yourself to something. I cannot express how happy I am to finally see that in. And also there's a player injury polish pass coming in. Player injury Polish pass. God bless the Polish. Thank you for everything you've been doing lately. We have been overhauling the injury system to increase likelihood of injuries occurring during repeated combat encounters and decrease the chance of instant death. So does this mean when you are doing your box delivery mission and you're leaving the outpost and you trip on the step, you will now no longer die after falling down a flight of stairs? Hopefully that's what it means, because again, totally has not happened to me too many times. But yes, the falling down of stairs and dying, maybe that's coming to an end. There's now a scaling % chance of triggering early injuries when taking damage to a body part. This assessed each time the body part receives additional wear, and there's a short cooldown in between. So what I read this being is that when you fall and injure your leg, you won't bleed out and die in 5 seconds. You'll get a small injury. But if you fall a second time and injure the same body part, then that may be more serious when that happens. That's how I read it. Again, we'll test when that comes out. Nice. The bleed actor state has been updated to be less severe. Yes, thank you. Previously, each body part would bleed individually and stack accumulative damage. Based upon the feedback, that was too severe. I agree. Also, there is a balance update for hunger and thirst rates. Hunger and thirst rates are now slightly more aggressive. Taking a little less time to progress towards starvation and dehydration. All right, so I mean, I'm not huge on the whole hunger and thirst things, but again, it's a simulation they're making here, right? It's the metaverse simulation, so food and drink is important. Question being, if you are dehydrated and I come out drop a drink to you, will that drink fall through the ground and you be unable to get it? We'll see. But again, small incremental changes, but pretty important. The injury system, you won't bleed out immediately. Air traffic control, huge. Desync, massive. Turret acceleration, nice. I think it will add a little bit of weight to a turret, is good. And the FPS weapon refactor, I had no idea this was needed. I had no problem with the way weapons were before, but I'll accept this either way. I'm curious to see how my favorite guns now react. So with that done, let's jump into a quick look at what's happening in 317. Check marks all the way down, as you can see. Avocado playing around, having fun with it. And the ships coming out, which are the Scorpius and the Hull A. So Scorpius, audio not done, the EU content team not done, and the experience team not done yet, the VFX team not done yet. So I don't expect to see the Scorpius or the Hull A out with 317 as it drops. It will be out 317.x, usually a week or 2 or 3 after 317 comes out. We expect to see that. Also, subscribe to the channel, because I will be surely doing a video about the horrible nerf that the Scorpius got. Or rather, I'm betting this time around that the Scorpius comes out pre-nerfed and they'll have to buff it. I'm putting my money on the wings will snap off with the slightest breeze, and then they'll buff it later so everyone will be happy. Let's see if I'm right on that. So Scorpius and Hull A should be out shortly after 317. Rivers, Cortec, yeah, I'm going to check out the Rivers too. 318, cargo system refactor, salvage being worked on, Drake Vulture coming along, and the Grey Cat Melto salvage, nothing new over there. And with that, ladies and gents, let's wrap it up. Looking forward to seeing this come very shortly, and looking to dive into the weapons there, see how that's changed also. Exciting stuff. If you enjoy my content, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, your comments below, always appreciated. I'll catch you in the next one.